Okay, so starting a fitness journey is easy, right? Like we all get that initial burst of motivation.
Oh, yeah.
But sticking with it, that's the tough part.
Absolutely.
And, if you've ever felt that motivation kind of fizzle out or struggled to make fitness a consistent part of your life, well, you're definitely in the right place today.
For sure.
Because we're taking a deep dive into mindset and movement, building mental resilience for consistency.
I love this one.
Yeah, it's a good one. And we're going to unpack the secrets to not just starting strong, but actually staying the course, turning those fitness goals into lasting habits.
And the really interesting thing is it's not about willpower.
Right.
It's not about white-knuckling your way through it. It's really about shifting your mindset to one that actually supports your fitness journey.
I like that.
Makes it feel less like a chore.
Yes.
And more like a sustainable part of your life.
That's what I'm talking about. Sign me up for sustainable over struggle any day.
Right.
So where do we even begin?
So one of the first things that really stood out to me was this idea of shifting our perspective on progress.
Okay.
We tend to get so fixated on the end goal.
Oh, I am so guilty of that.
Like losing a certain number of pounds. Or fitting into those jeans in the back of the closet.
Yep. Been there.
But what if we thought about it like building a house?
Okay.
You wouldn't expect to just magically have a finished house overnight.
That's true.
You'd celebrate laying the foundation, framing the walls, each step.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Bringing you closer to that final vision.
So it's about appreciating the process, not just the finished product.
Exactly. And every time you choose a healthy meal or show up for a workout, you're laying another brick.
Yeah.
Building that foundation for lasting change.
I like that.
It's recognizing that those consistent actions, those daily choices, are what ultimately add up to the big results.
So it's not just about the destination.
Yeah.
It's about enjoying the journey.
Precisely. And that includes the bumps in the road, too.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Because let's face it, setbacks are inevitable.
For sure.
But this source encourages us to reframe those setbacks as learning opportunities.
Okay.
Not failures.
So instead of beating myself up for missing a workout, I should use it as a chance to figure out what happened,
exactly,
why I went off track, and how I can adjust my routine to prevent it from happening again.
You got it.
Yeah.
It's about asking yourself, what can I learn from this?
Okay.
Maybe you need to adjust your workout schedule or find a workout buddy for accountability.
Right.
Whatever the obstacle is, view it as valuable data.
Okay.
A chance to fine-tune your approach.
Yeah, that's a much more empowering way to look at it.
Right.
It takes the pressure off having to be perfect all the time.
And there's one more piece to this whole perspective shift that I found really powerful.
Okay.
Practicing gratitude for what our bodies can do right now, in this moment.
You mean like no more focusing on what our bodies can't do?
Yeah.
Instead appreciating what they can do?
Exactly.
I love that. And it's not just a feel-good thing.
Right.
There's a growing body of research showing that gratitude can actually have tangible benefits on our well-being.
Interesting.
Both mentally and physically.
So how do we actually put this into practice?
So they suggest a simple exercise after each workout. Take a moment to acknowledge one thing you're proud of.
Okay.
Maybe you lifted a little heavier, ran a little farther, or just felt that sense of accomplishment after pushing yourself.
So even if it's a small win,
Yes.
we should still acknowledge it and celebrate it.
Exactly.
I'm going to try that.
Awesome.
It seems like these small mindset shifts could really make a big difference in the long run.
Absolutely. It's about rewiring our brains to focus on the positive, the progress, and the amazing things our bodies are capable of.
Okay, so we've shifted our perspective.
Yeah.
But now how do we actually start building that resilient mindset?
Well, you've probably heard of setting SMART goals.
Yes.
But I think this source does a really great job of explaining why they're so effective, especially for fitness.
Remind me what SMART stands for again.
Of course. It stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Got it.
And what's brilliant about this framework is that it takes those vague, overwhelming aspirations, like I want to get in shape, and breaks them down into concrete, actionable steps.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's like instead of just saying, I want to lose weight, I'd say something like, I want to lose 1 pound a week for the next 3 months.
Exactly. It's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant to your overall goal.
Yeah.
And it has a deadline.
Right.
This clarity not only makes your goal feel less daunting, but also helps you track your progress and stay motivated.
I'm starting to see how powerful this could be.
Right.
It's like taking that big, scary goal and breaking it down into bite-sized pieces you can actually wrap your head around.
Exactly. And alongside setting those clear goals,
Okay.
this source also talks about the power of positive self-talk.
Oh, tell me about it.
Because, let's face it, we're often our own worst critics.
Yes. Especially when it comes to fitness.
Yes.
It's so easy to get discouraged and start putting yourself down.
Right. But what if we learned to talk to ourselves like we'd talk to a friend?
Okay.
With encouragement, support,
Yeah.
and a little bit of tough love when needed.
So instead of saying, I'll never be able to do this, you'd say something like, I'm getting stronger every day,
Exactly.
even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment.
It might sound a little cheesy, but consciously shifting that internal dialogue can make a world of difference
Yeah.
in your motivation and resilience. Because when you believe in yourself,
Right.
you're much more likely to keep showing up and putting in the effort.
It's like you're actively choosing to be on your own team.
Yeah.
To be your own biggest cheerleader.
Exactly.
And that's got to be way more motivating than constantly beating yourself up, right?
Absolutely. And it's not just about talking the talk, it's about visualizing it too.
Wait, like picturing yourself crossing the finish line of a marathon.
Exactly. Olympic athletes have been using visualization techniques for decades.
Oh, wow.
And there's fascinating research showing that mentally rehearsing an activity
Okay.
actually activates the same neural pathways in the brain
Really?
as physically doing it.
Wow, that's pretty mind-blowing.
Right. So before your next workout,
Okay.
close your eyes for a few minutes and really visualize yourself crushing it.
Okay.
Picture yourself feeling strong, confident, and energized. You might be surprised at how that mental rehearsal can boost your performance in the real world.
Okay, I am totally adding that to my pre-workout routine.
Awesome.
It's free, it's easy, and if it can give me that mental edge,
Yeah.
sign me up.
I think you'll be amazed at how powerful it can be. But speaking of routines, let's move on to the next step this source outlines. Building consistency through habits.
Okay.
Because even with the best mindset,
Yeah.
we need practical strategies to make fitness stick.
Totally. What have they got for us on that front?
Well, one of the biggest takeaways, and it seems so simple, is the importance of starting small.
Okay.
We tend to go all in, overhaul everything,
Yes.
and then get overwhelmed and burn out.
The classic New Year, New Me trap. Been there, done that, did not buy the t-shirt.
Exactly. And this source really stresses that big changes can feel totally overwhelming.
Right.
So instead of trying to do it all at once, they suggest focusing on one small, manageable habit at a time.
Okay, that makes sense. Like, what kind of small habits are we talking about?
Yeah.
Give me some examples.
They give a couple of examples. Something as simple as committing to 5 minutes of daily stretching
Okay.
or taking a walk after dinner.
See, that feels doable.
Yeah.
It's not a huge time commitment.
Right.
But it's still building that foundation for consistency.
Exactly.
That's like those little wins start to snowball into bigger ones.
It's like the compound interest of fitness, right?
Yeah.
Small, consistent actions build up over time, leading to significant results. Yeah, you don't have to become an overnight athlete. Right. Just focus on making those small wins a part of your daily routine.
I love that analogy. So how do we make it easier to stick to these new habits? Because even small changes can feel challenging sometimes.
Well, they suggest a really clever technique called habit anchoring.
Okay.
It's about attaching these new habits to existing routines.
Interesting. What does that look like in practice?
Well, let's say you already have a morning coffee routine.
Yeah.
You could try incorporating some stretches while your coffee brews.
Oh, I like that.
Or if you always take a shower after work,
Yeah.
try doing a quick workout beforehand.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
It's multitasking at its finest. I'm already doing one, so why not add the other?
Exactly.
It's like sneaking those healthy habits into your day without even realizing it.
It's all about removing those mental barriers and making it easier to just do it.
So we're setting ourselves up for success by making those healthy choices the path of least resistance. I like it. What else do they recommend?
Well, they also emphasize the importance of planning ahead
Okay.
and treating your workouts like any other important appointment.
Okay.
Schedule them into your calendar and stick to that commitment as much as possible.
That's a good tip. It's
Yeah.
like if it's on the calendar, it's a non-negotiable, not just a maybe that I can easily talk myself out of.
Exactly. And finally, they talk about tracking your progress
Yes.
to stay motivated.
I love that.
Whether you use a journal or an app, seeing that consistency over time can be incredibly rewarding and help you stay on track.
Oh, I love tracking my progress.
Yeah.
So motivating to look back and see how far you've come.
Yeah.
Even if it's just those small incremental changes, it's like a visual reminder of all those little wins adding up to something big.
It is. And sometimes we need that visual reminder.
Yes.
Especially when we're feeling discouraged or tempted to give up.
This has been a fantastic deep dive so far.
I agree.
We've covered so much ground already.
Yes.
From shifting our perspective on progress to building a resilient mindset. And now we're actually starting to see how to make those changes stick through habits and routines.
It's awesome.
But before we go any further, let's pause for a moment and take a quick break.
So it's amazing how much ground we've covered already, you know? It's like we've given ourselves a whole new mental toolkit
I know, right?
to approach our fitness journey with.
And I'm already feeling more motivated and empowered just by reframing my thinking.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, what happens when we inevitably hit those mental roadblocks? You know, those days when motivation is low and the couch is calling our name.
That's a great question. And you're right, those days will definitely come.
Yeah.
That's why this source dedicates a whole section to overcoming those common mental barriers that can really sabotage our progress.
Okay, let's unpack those mental barriers and figure out how to break through them. What's the first one they tackle?
Well, they start with the dreaded all or nothing mentality.
Oh, for sure.
I think we've all fallen victim to this one at some point.
It's like, if I can't get in a full hour-long workout, then what's the point?
Yes.
And then, boom, you've talked yourself out of doing anything at all.
Exactly. But this source offers a really great quick fix for this kind of thinking.
Okay.
Remind yourself that any movement is better than none.
So even if it's just a 5-minute workout or a quick stretch session when you're short on time, it's still a win.
Absolutely. It's about shifting that mindset from all or nothing to something is always better than nothing.
Okay.
Even a little bit of movement can shift your mood, boost your energy, and help you stay consistent with those healthy habits we were talking about.
Okay. That's a helpful reframing. I'm definitely going to keep that one in my back pocket for those busy days. What other mental roadblocks do they address?
Well, another common one is the dreaded plateau. It's totally natural to hit those points where progress seems to stall.
Yeah.
And it can be incredibly discouraging.
Oh, tell me about it. It's so easy to lose motivation when you feel like you're putting in the effort, but not seeing the results you were hoping for.
I hear you, but here's the thing. Plateaus are not a sign of failure.
Okay.
They're actually a normal part of the process.
Okay.
Our bodies are incredibly adaptable.
That's true.
So it's natural for them to eventually adjust to a certain level of activity.
So instead of throwing in the towel, we should be using that plateau as an opportunity to take a step back and reevaluate.
Exactly. It might be time to tweak your goals, add some variety to your workouts, or maybe try a new activity altogether.
Right.
Sometimes all it takes is a little shakeup to break through that plateau and reignite that motivation.
I can see how changing things up could help keep things fresh. And prevent those feelings of boredom or staleness that can lead to giving up. What other mental barriers do they tackle?
Well, one that's particularly relevant in today's social media-driven world is the issue of comparison.
Oh, 100%.
It's so easy to get caught up comparing ourselves to others.
Yes.
Especially when we're constantly bombarded with images of seemingly perfect bodies, fitness journeys.
It's so easy to scroll through Instagram and feel like you're not doing enough or your progress isn't good enough. It can be a real motivation killer.
It absolutely can be. And that's exactly the kind of thinking that can sabotage our motivation and make us want to throw in the towel. So this source offers a really powerful reminder. Everyone's journey is unique.
So instead of comparing ourselves to others, we should be focusing on our own individual progress and celebrating our personal achievements.
Yes.
No matter how big or small they might seem.
Precisely. It's about remembering that you're not in competition with anyone else but yourself.
Okay.
And your only measure of success should be how far you've come from where you started.
That's such an important reminder. It's so easy to get caught up in the comparison game. And forget that everyone's starting point, genetics and goals are different. So we've talked about shifting our perspective, building a resilient mindset, overcoming those sneaky mental barriers. But there's got to be more to it, right?
You're right. This source also talks about the importance of creating a supportive environment for our fitness journey.
I love that.
After all, we're not meant to do this alone.
It's like having your own personal cheer squad.
Yes.
To help you stay motivated and accountable. Tell me more about what they recommend.
One of the first things they suggest is finding your fitness community.
Oh.
Surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals who share your passion for movement and wellness can be incredibly powerful.
I can definitely see that. Okay. But where do you even begin to find these fitness soulmates?
They offer a few great options. It could be joining a fitness class you love, finding a local running club,
right,
or even connecting with people online through fitness forums or groups.
Those are all great ideas.
Yeah.
So it's all about finding your tribe, those people who get it and can offer support and encouragement on your journey. Yeah, I like that.
Exactly. And speaking of support, they also highlight the importance of involving your friends and family.
Of course.
Sharing your goals with your loved ones can make a huge difference in your accountability and motivation.
It's like having a built-in cheer squad.
Exactly.
Sometimes all it takes is knowing someone is in your corner, rooting for you to give you that extra push.
Right.
Plus, they might even want to join you in your fitness endeavors.
Now, that would be a win-win.
Right.
Imagine the accountability and the fun you could have working towards your goals together.
Yeah.
And of course, there's always the option of working with a coach or trainer. Having that personalized guidance and support from a professional can really help you stay on track.
Yes.
And make sure you're doing things safely and effectively.
So we've got our community, our support system, maybe even a coach cheering us on. But what about those days when, even with all that, it's still a struggle to get moving?
Well, this source leaves us with a really important reminder.
Okay.
It's not just about the destination. It's about celebrating the journey.
Oh, I love that.
All those small wins along the way.
It's so easy to get caught up in the end goal that we forget to appreciate all the amazing things our bodies are doing right now in this moment.
Exactly. And that's where the concept of non-scale victories comes in.
Okay, I've heard that term before.
Yeah.
But refresh my memory on what it means exactly.
It's about acknowledging and celebrating all the positive changes that happen as a result of your fitness efforts that might not necessarily show up on the scale.
Like what kinds of things?
Well, for example, maybe you're sleeping better, you have more energy throughout the day, or maybe you're able to do activities that used to feel difficult. Maybe you can now keep up with your kids at the park without getting winded.
Right.
Or you're finally able to climb that flight of stairs without feeling out of breath.
Oh, those are all fantastic wins.
Right.
It's like our bodies are thanking us for taking care of them.
Yeah.
Even if the number on the scale hasn't budged.
Exactly. And the source encourages us to really celebrate those milestones, but maybe not with a giant pizza.
Right. It's so easy to fall into the trap of rewarding ourselves with food.
Yeah.
Especially when we're talking about fitness. So what do they recommend instead?
They suggest treating yourself to non-food rewards.
Okay.
Like maybe some new workout gear, a relaxing massage, or a fun activity you enjoy.
Ooh, I like those ideas.
Yeah.
It's a way to show yourself some love and appreciation for all your hard work without undoing all that progress you've made.
Exactly. And finally, they emphasize the importance of regularly revisiting your why.
Correct.
Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
What are your motivations for staying active and making fitness a part of your life?
That's such a good point. It's so easy to lose sight of our initial motivation.
Yeah.
Especially when we're in the thick of it and facing challenges.
Right. So whether it's improving your health, setting a good example for your kids, or simply the joy of movement.
Yeah.
Keeping your why front and center can help you stay motivated and committed to your fitness journey, even when it feels tough.
It's like that reminder of the bigger picture can really fuel your fire when you're feeling discouraged.
Exactly.
Or tempted to give up.
It's a way to reconnect with that initial spark that got you started in the first place.
Right.
And remember why it matters to you.
This has been such an insightful deep dive so far. We've covered so much ground, from shifting our perspective on progress to building a resilient mindset, overcoming those sneaky mental barriers, creating a supportive environment. And now we're even talking about celebrating those non-scale victories and remembering our why. But before we wrap things up, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the final takeaway from this source.
Yes. They end with a really specific reward challenge for listeners.
Okay.
I'm curious to hear your take on it.
Well, they challenge us to take all this incredible information and actually put it into practice.
Yes.
Specifically, they want us to choose one fitness goal we've been working towards and then identify 3 small actions we can take this week to move closer to that goal.
I like that. It's not just about passively absorbing information.
Right.
It's about taking action and putting these strategies into practice.
Exactly. So, for example, if your goal is to run that 5K we talked about earlier, your 3 actions for this week Might be something like doing a dynamic warm-up before each run.
Okay.
Scheduling those 3 training runs into your calendar.
Yeah.
And then rewarding yourself with a rest day after.
Those are great examples. And it really highlights the power of breaking down a larger goal into those smaller, more manageable steps.
Right.
It makes it feel much less daunting and more achievable.
Totally. It's like they're giving us permission to let go of that pressure to do everything perfectly right away and instead focus on making consistent progress over time.
Which, if we think back to the beginning of our deep dive, is really the key to building that lasting and positive relationship with fitness.
Yes.
It's not about quick fixes or drastic overhauls.
Right.
It's about those consistent, sustainable changes that become part of our lifestyle.
You know, I think what resonated most with me throughout this whole episode is this idea that mental resilience is truly a journey, not a destination.
I completely agree. And it's a journey we can all embark on, no matter where we are in our fitness journeys.
Yeah.
It's about equipping ourselves with the right tools and strategies to navigate the inevitable challenges and setbacks that come along the way.
And the best part is, these tools and strategies are accessible to everyone.
Yes.
It's not about having some superhuman level of willpower or motivation.
Exactly.
It's about making those small but powerful shifts in our mindset, building those healthy habits, and creating that supportive environment that sets us up for success.
And you know what? I think the episode does a fantastic job of reminding us that fitness isn't about punishing ourselves.
Oh, for sure.
Or striving for some unattainable ideal of perfection.
Yes, it's about honoring our bodies.
Yes.
Celebrating what they can do.
Yeah.
And finding joy in the process of moving and getting stronger.
And when we can approach fitness from that place of self-compassion and appreciation, it becomes something we look forward to.
Right.
Rather than dread.
Exactly.
And that's when those real lasting changes happen.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Oh.
So to our listener out there, remember, you have the power to transform your relationship with fitness.
Absolutely. It all starts with building that resilient mindset.
Yeah.
And the strategies we've explored today are a great place to start.
It's funny, as we wrap up this deep dive, I keep thinking about how fitness, it's not just about physical transformation.
Oh, yeah.
It's about mental transformation, too.
100%. It's about changing the way we talk to ourselves, the way we view challenges, setbacks, and even the way we define success.
And what's so exciting is that those mental shifts, that resilience we've been talking about, it can have a ripple effect into all areas of our lives.
For sure. Absolutely.
It's like those tools we develop to stick to a workout routine or push through a tough workout. They can also help us navigate stressful situations at work.
Oh, yeah.
Build healthier relationships, or even pursue new passions.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's about realizing that taking care of our physical health, it's an act of self-love. And that same love and care can extend to all areas of our lives.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Yeah.
And this source, I think it does a great job of reminding us that this journey, it's not about reaching some endpoint or achieving some arbitrary level of fitness.
Right. It's not about being perfect.
Exactly.
It's about creating a sustainable lifestyle that supports our overall well-being, both mentally and physically.
100%. And it's a journey that's unique to each individual. So there's no right or wrong way to do it.
Exactly. So whether you're a seasoned athlete or just starting out, I hope this deep dive has given you some new tools and perspectives to approach your fitness journey with more confidence, more compassion, and maybe even a little more fun.
Absolutely.
Remember, it's all about progress, not perfection.
Yes.
And every step you take, no matter how small, is a victory worth celebrating.
Love it.
So to our listener out there, I want to leave you with this. What's one small step you can take today to move closer to your fitness goals?
Yeah. What is it?
Maybe it's scheduling that workout, trying a new healthy recipe, or simply taking a few minutes to stretch and appreciate your amazing body.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
Whatever it is, know that you have the power to make positive changes.
Yeah.
To build that resilient mindset and to create a life that feels good from the inside out.
I love that.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the power of mindset and movement. We hope you've enjoyed the journey.
Yes.
And that you feel inspired to take those next steps towards a healthier, happier you.